Now, 6 months ago, the pushchair manufacturer McLaren recalled 1 million buggies in the United States after 12 cases of children slicing off their fingertips on the hinges. Now the BBC has learned that McLaren has agreed to compensate children here in the UK who were injured in their buggies. The company says this is not an admission of liability. Anna Adams has more.
What did you do at nursery, Emily?
Emily Hutchins was just 2.5 when she had plastic surgery to repair the tip of her middle finger. It was sliced off in the hinge of her buggy.
That's where she caught her finger in the hinge.
She's one of the children who will now be paid compensation by McLaren. But her mother says it's not about money.
I'm relieved more than anything that I don't have to blame myself anymore, because I blamed myself for weeks and weeks, knowing that it's not my fault. It was just there's a fault in the buggy.
Emily wasn't the only one. These are just a few of the other children who also lost the tips of their fingers. They came forward after McLaren in the US warned parents to stop using their buggies last year. It was one of the biggest product recalls of its kind.
McLaren USA is voluntarily recalling about 1 million strollers because of fingertip lacerations and amputations.
Well, here in the UK, these are the hinge covers that have now been issued to all new McLaren customers, and they just go over the hinge mechanism like that. They've also now clearly put safety warnings on all of their products. But despite this, some lawyers think the companies could still be facing hundreds of new claims.
The finger actually gets caught in there. And
the lawyer representing the children says new cases are still coming forward, and he believes the products are unsafe.
It seemed to me inevitable that if 40 children have been injured in the last few years by a product, it's got to be considered defective. It must be dangerous, because by definition, if it's injuring that many children in this country alone, it's got to be dangerous. This recognises that the parents certainly aren't at fault, and so that's good news. But as I say, my big concern is that it's not stopping the injuries happening.
But McLaren says the compensation is not an admission of liability. A spokeswoman said, "We are committed to fully recompense any child who's been genuinely injured by finger entrapment in one of our products. We take the safety of children very seriously. We've sold more than 1 million buggies in the past decade and have only had around 100 complaints. We feel this issue affects the whole industry and not just McLaren." As lawyers from both sides meet today to decide how much each child will be awarded, the parents are just relieved that they no longer feel responsible for the injury they thought they'd caused. Anna Adams, BBC News.